It's official. The jails on Rikers Island are set to close in 2026. But what will happen to the island after the jails are gone? Although Rikers falls within Council District 22, which is primarily in Queens, the island is actually considered part of the Bronx. And many argue that since that borough has experienced decades of disinvestment and neglect, it should reap the lion's share of the benefits of whatever is developed on the new Rikers Island. And joining us now to continue our Justice Week series of conversations in partnership with Public Square Media is Councilmember Rafael Salamanca, Jr. Councilmember Salamanca represents District 17 in the South Bronx and is the chair of the Council's Committee on Land Use. Councilmember Salamanca, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, Councilmember, before we get to the future of Rikers Island, let's talk a little bit about its present. As we know, the plan is to replace the jails that exist in Rikers Island with 4 smaller jails. There are a lot of folks in the Bronx who are upset with the place that the mayor has decided to put the jail in the Bronx. Do you share their sentiment?
Well, first, thank you for having me on your show. When we look back at the way this plan was rolled out, this current administration did not come to the community for any community input. They just decided where they were going to place these borough-based jails and just made an announcement. The location where they're planning on putting it or siting this jail in the South Bronx is not in my council district, but is literally across the street from my council district. They've chosen the Toe Pound. Now, many years ago, that particular location was promised, that land was promised to the Diego Beekman community, who are a housing provider, to build affordable housing there. And so, we were kind of taken off guard when they chose this particular location. Now, when you go back and you read the Lippman Commission's report on closing down Rikers, first they needed to decrease the population in Rikers. Second, their recommendations were to build these borough-based jails in a civic center or as closest to the courthouse as possible. Well, the Bronx Hall of Justice is nowhere near.
It's 2 miles away from where the location is.
And they're literally behind the Bronx courthouse. There's a piece of vacant land that can be used.
Well, the city says it cannot because it's too small. The footprint is too small. They say they would have to build a skyscraper of a jail in order to do everything they needed to do with the jail.
Yeah, well, when you really look at the politics of this, there's 2 lots there. One lot belongs to the state, the other lot belongs to the city. The city has chosen not to ask the state for permission to utilize that lot. So to me, these are just excuses that they're utilizing because the local member who represents that area in the courthouse is against building a jail behind the courthouse. Now you have another member who is my colleague, Diana Ayala, who, by the way, I give her major kudos, even though she and I do not agree on the site.
Right, she supports the site.
She supports the site because she wants to see the closure of Rikers happen. And she realized, well, if another one of my colleagues does not want this jail in my district, then this Rikers Island closure plan can be killed.
But some people say this is a manifestation of not in my backyard mentality because it's easy to be against Rikers Island, to want it closed. It's much harder when you got to make a personal sacrifice or a political sacrifice for its replacement. How do you respond to that?
Well, look, we also have to look at the surrounding areas of where they're proposing this jail. Should they place this jail at this location at the Toe Pound, in a 3-mile radius, there will be 3 jails. Right now, you have the Horizon Juvenile Detention Center, which is in my council district. Then further down south, you would have this borough-based jail that they're proposing. Then further down in Hunts Point, you have the Verdon C. Bain Center, which is the Barge. And this Barge came to our community in the South Bronx in the late 80s when Ed Koch was still mayor. Rikers was oversaturated. He ordered three floating jails. One of them came to the South Bronx. It was docked in 1992. Here we have Mayor David Dinkins, who's mayor. And he came to the community back then in 1992 and said this would be a temporary thing.
And it actually was closed for a while, and it was reopened in '95, I believe. Are there plans to close the Barge along with Rikers?
Well, So in having conversations with the administration, the closure of the barge, which is an annex of Rikers Island, is part of the plan. They are planning on closing down the barge at the end tail of the process in 2026. And I find that unacceptable.
Right.
And I've told this to the mayor. Mr. Mayor, if you are serious about closing down Rikers, this is not going to happen while you're still mayor.
But I don't understand. What is the explanation for the barge continuing to be open since it existed for the overflow of Rikers, whose population has drastically decreased?
There is no explanation. Right now, you have an 800-bed jail in Hunts Point, and it's very simple. The mayor can just transfer over the detainees over to Rikers, and he can close down that barge. He can sink the barge, as we like to say it, and give that land back to the community.
Okay, let's talk about the future. What would you like to see take place in the post-jail Rikers?
Well, I'm a community guy. I come from the local community boards, and I strongly believe in starting that conversation with the community and ending that conversation with the community. And so, you have the Queens community and you also have the Bronx community. Yep. And just to give you some insight, the Rikers Island is literally in Queens, but the way the lines are drawn out, Rikers Island is part of the Bronx. Yeah. So when violence occurs in Rikers Island, should there be a felony assault, those numbers on crime stats get attached to the precinct in the South Bronx, which I find it totally unacceptable. Right. And so for decades, the South Bronx, my community, has suffered from high crime on paper, but in reality, those crimes are not actually happening in our streets. And so I strongly feel that as we move forward with the conversations as to what's going to happen in Rikers, the South Bronx Community Board 2, where the 4-1 precinct is at, should be at the table making decisions. And whatever is built there.
You don't mind the people of District 22 and Queens
they need to be part of the conversation as well.
But what would you like to see? We have about 30 seconds left. What would you like to see?
There's many conversations about some type of green infrastructure. Right. Whether there's solar panels, the job creation that will come from these green infrastructures.
Rikers Island is very big. It's got room for a lot of stuff. Would you like to see some parks? Would you like to see some affordable housing?
There's a possibility for parks. There's a possibility for a ferry system where you can go directly from Hunts Point, from the Bronx to Queens, back and forth. Yeah. So there's a wide range of possibilities that can happen there. But the conversations need to start with the community, and this administration has failed to do that as well.
All right, well, we'll see what happens there. Councilmember Salamanca, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.